Sometimes common sense is not as universal as we think. Many of us even misuse it. Moreover, not all people have that capacity for discernment and a sense of logic that guides us on what is best in each situation. Descartes pointed out that common sense was the best distributed quality in the world. There was no person who did not have that judicious gift. The famous mathematician and philosopher understood that this dimension, beyond the idiosyncrasy of each one, allowed us to be equally clear to all of us what was correct, what was acceptable, and what bordered on irrationality. Now, as Voltaire pointed out in his day, common sense is actually the least common of the senses. What does this mean? Basically, that unanimity is not always given or perceived when it comes to understanding what is logical or what is expected in each situation. In some way, each one integrates their own common sense into their being, which, on occasion, does not match that of others. On the other hand, the most curious thing of all is that we would all be better off if we were able to apply that simplicity in terms of values and principles of action, starting from a judicious and almost universal essence. However, sometimes, even knowing what would be the most acceptable in each situation, we do not apply it, either because of laziness, defiance, laziness, or because our mind is busy with other complex universes. Common sense tells us, for example, that we should lead a healthier life. However, we don't always put our health before instant gratification. Common sense often whispers to us that this paper should go in the trash, that we should recycle more, that we shouldn't read messages on our mobile while driving, or that we should spend quality time with the people we love. So, if we are clear about it, why don't we do it? There exist at least 3 ways of understanding common sense. Throughout our history, the concept of common sense has been approached from many different angles. Understanding each of them will undoubtedly help us to have a little more perspective. Aristotle, for the Greek philosopher, common sense focused solely on our sensory experiences. In this way, all of us experience the same thing when we are faced with a stimulus: seeing a glass break, feeling the heat of the fire, the sound of the wind. Common sense for him started from sensible objects, from what could be perceived through the senses. René Descartes, for the French mathematician and philosopher, it does not matter that each person comes from a different culture. We all have a universal common sense, from which to judge and distinguish what is true from false, good from bad. The pragmatist philosophy. This approach emerged in the 19th century gives us a more useful view. According to this theoretical framework, common sense starts from the beliefs and experiences that we have on a daily basis. That is, basically part of the context that surrounds us. And this, as expected, can vary depending on the weather and the conditions we face. This has been a new documentary installment of the 1A1 Mexico Foundation for all of you.